London. Over 10 million people live here. In this vast metropolis, it can seem almost impossible for communities to form and thrive. In southeast London, Telegraph Hill rises like a friendly island over the noise and pollution of New Cross Road, welcoming all who bother to venture up its slopes. Once a year, the community gathers for the Telegraph Hill Festival, showing a rare and complex example of a community united by talent, passion, and joy.
It's about celebrating the fact that we do have a lot of talent in our midst.
The festival brings everybody together to do all kinds of different events over these couple of weeks. So there's always something for everybody. There's always something that someone can go to, different types of things. It's great.
It's a community that very much wants, that very much values its sense of community and does what it can to try and make that strong.
The festival opens with the community musical. With a cast of 270 and audiences of around 250, over 1,000 people saw this year's show, Guys and Dolls.
I work mainly in choreographing the musical, and yeah, it's great. This year I actually was in it as well. I had a little bit here and there, which was really fun. And I think that's what's brilliant about it is, you have age for. My son was in it, and my husband even was in one scene, and my daughter was in it. So we kind of, the Von Trapp family, we were laughing about that. I love you.
It's a release, it's fun, it's a social thing, it's a social event.
When you spot a John waiting out in the rain.
After the musical, the festival opens to include a wide variety of events designed to showcase the diversity of talent on the hill and the surrounding areas.
The whole festival is a pretty amazing event. The way everybody in the community just comes together and makes it happen and contributes their expertise and the things they're excited about. It's really, I think it's pretty special. Yeah.
But it is an area in which a lot of people live.
Yes.
Who have musical or dramatic ability, they're actors. You see them on the telly and you think, yes, I've seen that person walking up my road.
Sasha, for instance, used to be a TV announcer. She and Tammy, both professional singers, performed together as the Bluebirds.
So we like to do really good classical music, but we like to make people laugh and let them have a good time. And this evening's theme is Berlin.
Yes, basically classical music doesn't have to be stuffy and serious.
The festival is organized by a core group, as well as individual event coordinators and numerous volunteers. Here, the festival chairs check in between events.
So my name's Royce Salek and I'm the founder of the cake competition with my son Benjamin, and we've been running it for 7 or 8 years now, and it's grown from success to success. It's wonderful. This year we've got about 40 people enter, and it's been a real recipe of success.
I run the bar, so I buy all the drinks and set up all the bars each evening, organise the bar volunteers and tell them what to do and serve at some of the bars and chat to the people who come to the bars to make sure they're happy.
St. Catherine's Church is the geographic centre of the hill and the venue for many events.
The role of St. Catherine's Church is integral to the festival. The festival is constituted as a subcommittee of the PCC, which is the Parochial Church Council of St. Catherine's Church.
We've got into a pattern in our festival Sundays of celebrating our community but also raising awareness about key global issues.
Again, it's a very diverse group of people. They just happen to be united in their interest in Christianity.
We give thanks for the many talented people who have contributed to the festival and who have given us such pleasure, and for the friendships that have been created through working together.
The festival started as a play put on by the church. The first one was called Pop Goes the Passion.
One Holy Week and Easter.
Yes.
Because my children were very small, and it was all based on nursery rhymes. Do you remember?
Vaguely, because I never had to sing.
And then Patrick and Claire moved to live in the area.
Yes.
And Patrick was an opera producer. And he and Malcolm and Claire.
That was it.
That was it. Off it went. And once it started, it just kept going.
And it just got bigger and
And
bigger.
it's got bigger and bigger and has a momentum all of its own.
As the festival gains momentum, the community begins to speak for itself.
But so when we did it was originally the church, if I remember correctly, originally the church did it.
The church did it.
And then it kind of got so big that
Well,
they
the
went,
church
here, have it to the community.
Yeah, the church didn't want to keep it.
Needed a
Anyway,
team.
more people will join in if it's not seen as exclusively a church activity.
That's true. It's true. And the whole point of having the centre and everything was to do with the church wanting to give something back to the community as opposed to not necessarily having to come to church. And that's why the church also helps run the centre, and it's why we all do all the community things that we do to try and raise money so that the centre keeps going, because it has no council funding. It used to be funded by the council, but they took it away. We used to have there used to be May Day bank holidays, and they're always things used to happen in the parks, the lower park. Then there wasn't really much. There was some sort of food things there, but it was just always there, and nearly always nice and sunny as well. And then that sort of faded away. I don't know why it stopped happening.
People moved because it's a continually changing community. So people move, and the manifestations of community activity change according to who lives there.
Yes, because I think that's kind of that's when the festival really started to take off. When that sort of fell to the side.
As the manifestations of community change, so too does the dialogue about who exactly is included and how this too can shift to become more inclusive.
There is inevitably criticism in the past that it's run by and for middle-class white people. And I think that's unfair because it's not run exclusively by and for middle-class white people. It does endeavour to be as inclusive as possible. But I think that to an extent, the reality of a festival like this in this area is that that's the sort of clientele, if you like, that are going to be interested.
It's a mix of people who own their own homes and own, large, comfortable houses, but it's also an area where there are people living in bedsits, and there is a large student population too. There are people in the area who are working on 0 hours contracts or doing shift work. It's a real mix in that sense, in much of the way that London is. It's a very rich tapestry of diverse groups of people. And I suppose in a sense that's why the festival is important, because what the festival tries to do is to include and engage and involve as many people as we possibly can. And each year we succeed in doing that more and more.
You get something different, you get something with soul when you're part of your community. So now I'm really part of this community because I've had babies. So when you have babies in a community, you actually really have to get to know the mums, different play clubs that are going on, the coffee shops. So you pour the money back in to help it flourish. That's what I believe in anyway. It's the way it was in the old days. It's the way it was in my family's community back in Africa. Communities get together, they help each other. So yeah, it's great. Telegraph Hill is a great place. Yeah, love it.
Unfortunately, the future of Telegraph Hill is uncertain, as the vicious housing crisis and other London politics take their toll.
We live obviously in the area, and when we moved here 2004, since then the prices have rocketed, so we want to move and stay in the area, but we have to really see what our options are.
I like living in this city. I think this is a fantastic city. I really do. I'm proud to be London. I think it's a great place, and I do. I think there's 10 million of us rubbing up against each other quite close most of the time. A lot of potential tension, and I think most of the time it's an incredibly tolerant, diverse and beautifully free city. I think that trend is only going to increase in the next few years, that sense of solidarity and community, because I think in the next 25 years, probably by then, just about every Londoner will be living on the street, rubbing up against other Londoners, because no property in this city at all will be affordable by an indigenous Londoner. They will all be owned, every property will be owned by some oligarch from Moscow or Shanghai or Kuala Lumpur.
Well, this comedy night has been running for, God, how many years? Well, almost as long, I think probably as long as the festival, which is 21 years now, I think. And I've been doing it for quite a long time. I know lots of comedians, used to be a comedian myself.
That's it! Anyone else? Look, you in the back, out in the black here! Come on! You're a community, aren't you?
They had a sign up in Tesco's that said, this fridge is not working. Which I didn't really mean to be told, but it said, this fridge is not working for technical reasons. Are there other reasons a fridge might not be working? Like, this fridge is not working because it lacks the motivation. Or this fridge is not working because it can earn more on benefits. Which is my most right-wing joke. So don't worry. For the rest of the set, nothing to worry about at all. I warmed to you and on your reluctance to laugh at that joke. But we're going to get on. Nothing worse than them taking the roof off of that joke. Totally UKIP crowd you get from time to time. Bulgarians! See, and none of you turned round. That's how not a UKIP crowd. So it's the classic test.
But it doesn't matter really, does it, on one level, whether you're multi-generationally resident in this area?
No.
Or you just come into the area, because it's actually quite an open place to
It is. I mean,
into.
the people around here that have been around here for a long, long time, they haven't realised, and then they've got back into the community and they've found friends and stuff through that. And it is one of the few things, it's one of the laughing jokes that they call it. They don't call it the village around here, they call it the hillage.
Hillage.
Not everyone does it, but it's called the hillage.